Hi there, Tracy Konoske, www.healthylifestylesmt.com, and I want to introduce you to a topic today, and in order to do that we need to lay a little bit of groundwork. So the groundwork is that we are a bundle of energy. The human body is a bundle of energy. If this seems woo-woo to you, hang on, don't hit pause quite yet, and let's talk about what a pacemaker does, what happens if you have a heart attack and they put the paddles on you. They're using energy, electricity to stabilize the heart and its rhythm, right? So a cardiologist would easily tell you that we are a bundle of energy. People who do dark field microscopy, people who I mean, I'm not a woo-woo, I'm kind of a science girl, but I think let's just for today give the groundwork that the foundation that we are a bundle of energy. So we need to establish that in order to move forward. And I have a free thing for you as a health remedy, and I promise it won't cost you a dime. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. I want to ask you a question. When you go camping and you're sitting in the forest with the pine trees around and the air smells so great, how do you feel? Okay, when you go on vacation and you're sitting at the beach and the water's coming forward and you're walking along the water, you're playing, and you feel great, right? I know I do, I would, not that I get lots of those, but I know that that's a great feeling and you always feel so relaxed. Okay, let's also talk about other times in life, like being by waterfalls, gardening, out working in the yard, and you've been playing in the dirt, you get your hands in it, hiking. Oh, after the rain. After it rains, the air smells so clean, right? And we all love that. Those are times in life when we are bringing in from the world, the earth, and our environment negative ions. And I need to clarify, in this case, negative is a good thing. Negative ions are good for us. And let me tell you the health benefits that we get when we are exposed to the earth, to that fresh air after rain, to the pine needles, when you have your feet on wet grass that isn't full of herbicides, of course, right? When you're hiking and doing all those things and feel so great, it isn't just that you're on vacation. There's actually a physical change that takes place, and we dump our positive ions that we accumulate because of cell phone towers, because of stress, because of who knows what, but we accumulate positive ions. And when we're in contact with the earth, and there's a word for it, it's called earthing or grounding, but there are a lot of different ways to connect with some natural things here that again aren't going to cost you any money. Okay, so some of the positive attributes are that when you're earthing, grounding, being in contact with the earth, you're better able to regulate your blood sugar. Your body goes back to parasympathetic mode. Sympathetic is fight or flight. That's when we're all revved up and we got a lot of stuff going on and we live in that engaged fight or flight kind of syndrome. But parasympathetic is when we're relaxed and we're better able to digest our food. We have higher oxygen intake, we have improved digestion, decreased blood viscosity, meaning the blood's not going to get all clumpy. In fact, if you're a person on Coumadin or some sort of a blood thinner and you start spending a lot of time outside for various reasons, you actually could need less medicine, and that's a given. That's a proven. They have done animal studies, and there are a few people out there doing human studies where they can do a sham grounding. Another thing I can bring into here is, you know that if you were going to go mess with an electric fence like what we have for our cows, and if it's raining, that electric wire is the last thing you want to touch because water helps conduct that electricity, right? And it's the same thing for us, that wet beach, the damp ground when you're hiking in the forest, the waterfalls, the rain, so that water conducts the electricity. So grounding as a free tool in the desert is not, unfortunately, as powerful as grounding if you happen to live in Washington, D.C. or Montana. It's raining and snowing out today. It's a great time for me to go sit outside and do a video, right? Put my feet on the ground. The other thing that I want to throw in, and I'm really good at sidetracking myself today, is that if you're wearing a rubber-soled shoe, just like when you touch that electric fence, if you're wearing a rubber-soled shoe, you're going to ground it and neutralize it more so than if you're wearing a leather shoe. It's more conductive. So if you're going to try to ground, you want to wear a leather shoe or just be barefoot. Okay, so let's go back to some of the benefits of grounding, earthing, whatever term you want to give this. We have higher oxygen, increased relaxation, which has a lot of benefits. Our immune system is stronger, our blood sugar is better, our digestion is better, blood viscosity is less, so we got sidetracked on Coumadin, but you're gonna have thinner blood, and so they're less of a risk of a heart attack or stroke, because that's when the blood gets all clumpy. Great benefits for jet lag, so after you get off a long flight, you can go do some earthing and recover quicker. And it's also known to be great for arrhythmias and people who just have a lot of anxiety, fear, panic disorder kind of stuff. So again, completely free, earthing or grounding, being in touch with the earth, waterfalls, going outside after it rains, but letting our positive ions dump and bringing in some of those negative ions with that, which have health benefits. Okay, some other things you can do that aren't necessarily free, but you're going to spend money on your clothing, you're going to buy some salt in your life, and so our bodies work better on natural sea salt because there's about 80 minerals in there, and that allows in our body the liquids between cells to go back and forth and do all the jobs that they need to do. So that's why sea salt is so popular. You can get a variety of sea salts. Himalayan is known for its beneficial health effects. Celtic sea salt is great, and they even make Celtic sea salt that you really shouldn't cook at high temperatures with because you're going to damage some of those salts. So anyway, that's an option. And flower essences, and there are several. The two that I can always remember, because I once made this candle and I put lavender and ylang ylang in it, and it smelled so great. I kept it for years because I loved the way it smelled, and now I know that by putting those essential oils in that candle, that when I would be around that and smell that, it actually, I mean, we all know what lavender's like, it's very calming, right? So those are two essential oils that are very calming, grounding, help us with all that. Eating root vegetables, because they're grown in the ground, can be grounding for us. The kind of salt you use, the color of clothing that you wear, red, black, and brown are said to be grounding. That's an area that I'm not as versed in, but if you want to study up on that or any of this, there's a lot of stuff out there. There are books, there are YouTube videos, I'm sure there are blogs out there. So this is my version just to offer you something free this week, and I think I covered it all. If you have some chronic health conditions, I think it's important to aim for like an hour a day. One of the integrative medicine physicians that I follow recommends his patients get 12 or more hours a day. There are grounding mats you can buy so that when you're working on your computer you're grounding. There are mattress covers that you can do so when you sleep you're grounding. There are things to put in your car so that when you're driving you're getting grounded. Obviously those aren't free, and I'm not trying to do that, but summer's coming, it's May. And so if you just head outside and do some gardening, start walking around in your grass, you know, really committing to some time outside. I think we all would say that we feel better when we're outside and on some man-made surfaces. So natural slate allows you to ground, but pavement and concrete don't. So again, keep that in mind as little tidbits there. So that's all for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. A new concept for you, and doesn't necessarily cost you any money. So let's go ground. Okay, see you next time.